This is an ignition switch for a Mk5 Mondeo 17 plate. Well, put it this way, if you've got a Mk5 Mondeo where you've actually got a physical key you put in ignition and turn, here's the problem I'm coming across more and more. You can switch the ignition on, but when you turn the key that last little bit to number 3 to crank the engine, it seems to be jammed, it won't turn at all. So you end up turning the key half a dozen times before the actual starter motor will kick in. And what it is, it's the ignition switch. This is the problem of all my troubles. So I'm going to change this and show you how easy it is to change, because thankfully it's a simple little job to do on these cars. So first off, I'm going to rip off the cowling around the steering column, and then we'll quickly pop this out. Just in case you get this problem, you may well do. I know these are taxis and the keys are in and out of the ignition a lot of times, but this is about the 10th one I've done now. It's becoming more of a common problem. First up, get the key out of the ignition. On the lower half of this cowling, at the very front, left-hand corner, there's a Torx 25 screw. You need to take that screw out. And at the back, there'll be like a little blanking plug you've got to remove. And there'll be a 7mm headed screw you've got to take out. You can get a trim tool between these two casings and just prise them apart. They come apart quite easily, and you just lift it off. Once that bottom cover's just dropped down, the top cover, there's nothing really much holding it on at all. You can just lift it up like that if you like. But if you wanted to take it right out, I'll get all these bloody cards out of the way. This panel inside the instrument pack, it just lifts up and you can take it right out. You see how this top panel would sit on top of the column, and at the back you've got this piece that slots into your instrument pack just below it. There's two clips either side. They just literally push down. So you just grab it and pull it up at the edges and that will come straight off. Okay, let's get the new one out. I would check they've actually given you the right one, because you never know. But the first thing to notice here, if you've taken your key out of the ignition, so your key is in the position where the ignition lock is going to be on, when you take the new switch out of the box, the little slot will be in the correct position for the lock position. So basically this will slide straight back on to the back of your ignition barrel. Okay, I'm using my phone for this, so it could be a bit dodgy. But at the back of the ignition barrel, the other side of the column, the left-hand side of the column, there's a little plug connector here. You just push the tab in like that, okay? And you can pull the plug connector out. Now to disconnect the actual ignition switch, there's a tab at the top and there's another tab at the bottom. You just push them in. You see that? See where it's come away there, where I just pushed it? Like so. That's the top one out of the way. Alright, there's the bottom tab. So I'll just push that with a screwdriver. That's it, that's out. Now you can just literally slide it straight out, and there you go. Bingo. Okay, so we're going to fit it straight in here, and that should clip straight into position, no problem at all. You'll notice the slot here is going to level up with our little slotted keyway here. So I'll put that back on like that. Dunk! That's gone straight in, clipped in perfectly. And then plug your wiring connector back in. When you're putting these cowlings back on, I suggest you put the bottom one back on first. You'd have to try and pull it out a little bit and lift it over, if you know what I mean. Lift it over the barrel. Until it sits flush with the bottom of your wiper switch and indicator switch the other side. But you'll know it's right because the ignition barrel will be central in the hole there. The top cover you can't really get wrong. all there is down the sides are like 3 little clips. They just push straight in like that into the bottom cover, no problem at all. And you've got little locators right at the front, just behind the steering wheel. So the whole lot will just go dunk straight on really. So I'll have a go at fitting this. It'll probably go all wrong now. I'm trying to show it, as what normally happens. Clip that panel back in below the instrument panel, and then you just get it, and it just clips in. Oh my God, it actually went okay. So now your 7mm headed bolt, you can refit back into the back of this lower column cowling. And we'll bolt that up and refit the screw back into the front of the cowling. There. Your little blanking plug that goes below the cowling has got 3 little clips on it, so it only fits in one position. Right, bung the old key back in. Yup. Yeah, I know that was a bit of a lame trash can scene, but I've got an MOT waiting, you see, so I ain't got time to make something adventurous today. Anyway, that's it. Now you know how to fit an ignition switch in a Mk5 Mondeo. Shut up! Noisy git. Anyway, till the next time. See ya!